AITA for asking my husband to redo our prenup after I found out he's been hiding money? When my husband and I got married 5 years ago, we signed a prenup. At the time, it seemed like the right thing to do. He was already established in his career, making significantly more money than I was, and I was just starting out. I didn't think much of it. In fact, I thought it was fair. He'd worked hard for his success, and I wasn't trying to take that away from him. Our prenup basically stated that anything we owned before the marriage would remain separate, and anything we earned during the marriage would also remain separate. I agreed to it because I trusted him, and I never saw money as something worth fighting over. I was genuinely in love. Fast forward to last year, I got a major promotion and a pay raise that finally put me in a financially stable position. For the first time in our marriage, I wasn't constantly worried about how much I contributed or whether I was pulling my weight. I thought we were in a good place. But a few months ago, I noticed something strange. My husband has always been the one to handle the bills and manage our joint account. I'd transfer my share every month, and he'd take care of the rest. It was an arrangement that worked for us. Except, I started noticing discrepancies, small ones at first. For example, the mortgage payment was always listed as the same amount, but when I looked into it, I realized it had been lowered after refinancing, a refinancing he never told me about. Then I noticed that he was contributing significantly less than before, even though our expenses hadn't changed. That's when I decided to dig a little deeper. I checked some financial documents he'd accidentally left out on his desk, and what I found shocked me. He had multiple investment accounts and a secondary savings account I knew nothing about. I'm not talking about a few $1,000s, there was close to $400,000 spread across those accounts. When I confronted him, he looked stunned for a second and then tried to play it off as if it wasn't a big deal. He said he'd set that money aside before we got married, so it didn't count. But I checked the timestamps and transaction histories, most of it was built up after our marriage. When I pressed him on why he'd never told me about it, he said, "You're overreacting. We agreed to keep our finances separate. Why does it matter?" That statement cut me deeply, not because of the money itself, but because of what it meant. We'd been married for years, and yet he'd been hiding a significant part of his financial life from me. I wasn't angry that he had money, I was angry that he lied. After that argument, I took some time to think. Eventually, I told him that I wanted to redo the prenup, not to take what's his, but to make things fair and transparent. I said I wanted both of us to fully disclose our assets and rebuild trust with a document that reflects where we are now.